Game number 1, everybody! We are at the HeroesHype Premier Series, and we're in the playoffs. The top 8 team that qualified through all the tournaments made it into the playoffs, and we have a double elimination system with a best of 3 in the winner bracket round 1. There are going to be a couple of best of 5s in all of this, so don't worry. The winner bracket final, the loser bracket final, and the grand final will all be best of 5s, but we're looking at a best of 3 right now. And we have Washed Up going up against Team Cheese. And it should be a pretty fun one. I mean, first of all, Washed Up, of course, again with a bit of a different lineup, as we've seen with all of the competition just recently. Those lineups just are slightly different from tournament to tournament. It is always a question of which player can make which date, who has to sub in, do all the players have time. This is obviously not a lineup as with HTC before, where you have just a fixed date where to play and all of the players have to be there. So this is a little bit more loose after HTC went down. And right now we're having Chen banned out against Team Cheese. We're seeing Hammer on Battlefield of Eternity immediately taken apart. And I completely understand that HeroesHype has been playing the hero a lot. And I'm actually a little bit surprised that so far Alarak hasn't been banned either, because normally Mane really wants that hero. But there's first pick on the side of Team Cheese, and they might actually want to go for a hero like this pretty early themselves. I like what Washed Up is doing though. They're banning out Tyrael. And if you have watched any of the games in the recent past, you know that Tyrael is one of the big characters for Backhold, and that his sanctifications are usually absolutely on point. Now we have an immediately big pick for Marke, and that pick has established itself more and more so at the top of the food chain when it comes to Battlefield of the Turn priority, so that doesn't shock either. We still have Tyrande out, we have Alarak out, we have a lot of really strong picks still available. There's Tyrande and Alarak immediately, both of them taken in no hesitation whatsoever. Mena's gonna get his Alarak, there's Tyrande, the immediate counter with Garrosh and Malfurion. So both of the teams, they know exactly what they want heading into this first map of the best of 3 series here. And it should be a good one. This entire tournament will probably produce a couple of fantastic games. And one of the favorites is definitely Washed Up. I mean, they and Granite Gaming ended up in pretty much every grand final of all these last HeroesHype tournaments that we've seen, at least the last 3. And Washed Up was usually able to edge out a victory here. So they're definitely a favorite for the tournament itself. But we have seen a lot of upsets, and especially teams around Marke have in the past also started to really pick up a little bit of momentum and have been able to turn up the heat here, as wind and rain, obviously. So now we have Tracer banned out as well. Marke is already on Liming, but they can of course always shift someone else over into that position. And let's see how this is going to work out now with the third ban for Team Cheese, what they're going to get rid of here. And it's Vala. So no Vala shenanigans here either. That's actually an interesting hero, because after Vala got buffed in the recent patch, Europe has started to pick her up a lot more, and even if with double support compositions with Tacita, for example. And North America has completely ignored her. North America just does not look at Vala at all. At least when we're looking at the Division S North America playoffs, she wasn't played once, I believe. And it was pretty interesting considering that Europe has really started to jump onto the Vala train again. But with Vala eliminated, Nick actually goes for ETC. He's been playing the front line now for Washed Up for quite some time in these tournaments. And boy is he putting a number on the opponent's team. His Diablo in particular was absolutely stellar so far, and his ETC was extremely strong too. His Garrosh actually got banned out multiple times against him just because he dominated so much with him. Now we're having ETC taken, we have also Jaina, so a lot of burst damage after any combo that could come out here. But we're still missing the offlane. And that's actually also true for the opponent's team. Team Cheese with Yrel and with Imperius. Yrel topside, Imperius at the bottom of the map, as we're heading into Battlefield any moment now. And we have the last pick, so we're still needing an offlane hero, and Chris has been playing a lot of Leoric for his team here, playing on his Pepiga account again. So we'll find out if he's going to do that once more for them, or if he's actually switching into a different setup. And it's a Thrall pick for him. Very likely to be an Echo of Elements Thrall, since I expect Alarak is going to join the 4-man, so Thrall is probably going to have a tough time with trash lightning stacks and is not going to head into those. But as it stands, Battlefield of Eternity, we're ready and set, so let's go straight into game number 1 here at the HeroesHype Premier Series. Game number 1, everybody! Battlefield of Eternity, and it's time for Washed Up against Team Cheese, Wind and Rain, their former name. I'm actually not 100% certain if the sponsorship and the partnership with Wind and Rain, the organization, ended, or if in this case they actually just decided for this tournament to go back to the old team name. Either way, we have HeroesHype currently on the blue team side with Jaina. We see Mena on Alarak, Thrall going into the Rolling Thunder. Chris apparently having a beer or two too many. Banana, H on Tyrande, Nick on ETC, and on the right side, Team Cheese with Gulna on Malfurion, Garrosh played by Backhult, Max Payne on Urel, Macke on Li Ming, and Skok on Imperius. Chris currently pretty much playing just Storm League style, so going into Rolling Thunder here. Actually, even on Leoric has always gone into, let's call it special talents, where with Leo, traditionally you would see on level 13 and level 16 the Wraith Walk talents. So Royal Focus and Ominous Wraith. He really decided to oftentimes go into the auto attack style instead. So he definitely has this particular flair when it comes to heroes. And in this case, he is going to have an easier time on the solo lane on this map. And granted, it is a map where the solo lane is going to be effective for a lot longer, but he's not heading into the traditional Echo of Elements on the solo lane, which would obviously then also synergize extremely well with your level 16 talent if you plan on going into the 16 here, into the Thunderstorm. For now, it's the focus on the bot lane that we're looking at, on the other hand. So with this, there's the quick kill against ETC as he goes down, and that was a nice move by Macke. So already some Li Ming value, and obviously the immediate consequence is a rotation to the camp. You have a hero eliminated, you know that the hero, including the travel time, is going to miss from the bottom of the map for quite some time, and that's more than enough to just head in, take down the camp, and then get a bit of extra momentum there. In the meantime, Mena has actually started to move to the top and is going to get some damage in against Max Payne. I doubt that we're going to see a kill there, but that's a ton of damage against Urel. That is really going to help Thrall there in the long run. The bottom of the map heavily attacked at the same time though, because obviously it's now a 4 versus 3 with the Khaldor camp pushing for Team Cheese. So another really nice setup here for them. But yep, as it stands, another combo coming out with Alarak, who rotated back down to help the teammates. And here come those stuns the entire time. And we're seeing Garrosh looking for an opening. We have the follow-up attempts from Skok on his Imperius. And here's the earlier level 4, thanks to the camp and the kill. And with that, we're seeing Indomitable now taken. We have again for Macke the Charge Blasts, which we see quite often from him. Trying to get the extra damage in. The Hand of Freedom, obviously, now a staple for Urel in most builds on level 4 after it was changed in the recent patch and is now self-applicable. Plus, in addition to that, the Strangling Vines right here. Frostwolf pack for Thrall, and that combined with the fact that he went into Rolling Thunder seems to me that we are going to see once again the Alpha Wolf on level 16. I gotta say, I'm not really the biggest fan of the Rolling Thunder pick. This makes a little bit more sense on this map than on others. I'd say if you're playing a solo lane Thrall, because most of the time you will be on your own, and if you figure out that you are having a tough time on the solo lane against a hero like Urel, you might need the extra sustain, but obviously you're giving up value in the later stages of the game there. And on Battlefield of Eternity with a 2-lane split, it's definitely a bit more understandable, but you're definitely sacrificing a lot in the late game for that. Have a better time in the early stage though. Banana H gets immediately impaled here. Tyrande gets hit hard. And there's the setup. Nice job by Mena, the telekinesis into the Immortal stun. They can't get a kill or anything, but that was still well played. Quest first completed on 326 here, so at least gets a bit of value. Gonna watch the progress there for sure. And talking progress, 3 stacks already for Thrall now as well. The only kill in the game so far against Washed Up, but they're starting to get some momentum here. Not on the Immortal though, but they're looking to get a kill. Nick on the other hand eats the entire combo for Macke, and that's a problem. Urel jumps out. And more, it looks like Team Cheese is going to walk away with the Immortal and might even get another kill on top of that. They're playing extremely well here. They already gained a lot of momentum in the recent Division S playoffs in Europe. They did exceptionally well there. and lost a few of the games that they played just barely against incredibly strong teams. Against Granite Gaming, for example, they fought an amazing series. And again, I can't stress enough, if you haven't watched the playoffs from the European Division S yet, you should definitely check them out on YouTube, especially the match between Granite Gaming and Wind and Rain, plus the grand final between Washed Up and Granite Gaming were absolutely spectacular. If you haven't watched those yet, you should check it out, youtube.com/KhaldorTV. And again, if you like the content on the channel, make sure that you hit that sub button and also the bell for notifications. And a like on the video would always be appreciated as well if you want future content like this. As it stands, we're having a lot of momentum here for Team Cheese. And again, it's the same lineup that we see with Wind and Rain. So before they joined Wind and Rain, they were also named Team Cheese, so I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna trouble check in the break, but it seems like they might have left the team, or that the sponsorship there ended. But as it stands, they're gaining more and more momentum here, and I actually like it. I mean, they're playing absolutely unleashed, and Main is about to fall. He goes down, the sadism is gone, the fort is eliminated, it's 2 kills against 0, and Wind and Rain is just playing like a completely different team. It's insanity. Again, you have to understand this in perspective. Washed Up has dominated the last 3 or 4 qualification tournaments for these playoffs. They've won this thing several times without even losing a single map, and even when they dropped a few maps against Granite Gaming in the grand final, for example, they still safely secured themselves the #1 position heading into these playoffs. So them struggling this hard in the early and mid game against Team Cheese is actually a really big deal. And since this is a best of 3 series and not a best of 5, this is something that really has to concern Washed Up. Now, games oftentimes shift when we have level 10 in play. Oh, that was a good play there. And Urel had nowhere to go, completely surrounded. A bit of a B-step there by Maine for just a second, but a nice move and a kill against Urel. So maybe that's the ticket back into this game. As I was just about to say, once level 10 abilities drop in, a lot of momentum starts shifting in these games, and especially with the combo setup that we have for Washed Up, that could be the case. But at least early on in this game, Team Cheese is just putting everything on the line here, and is looking really, really strong. So with that said, there's half a level missing for the red team to gain level 10. And then we're going to have also a lot of momentum for them, especially of course around the Warlord's challenge, the taunt for Garrosh. Even though Decimate has been picked a little bit more often lately. We've seen Mopsio with a talent in one of the games that he played, and it also made an appearance in the playoffs for North America in Division S. By the way, 13 stacks by now for the negatively charged on Alarak, so this time we are actually seeing him not with the show of force, but with negatively charged, so the talent that's slightly nerfed previously, as I already mentioned a few times. You get now 4% extra damage per stack instead of 5. As previously. And there's the level 10. And they have a bit of a head start here now into the objective and can maybe burn the down slightly quicker. Heroic abilities are in play, and that gives us the Warlord's challenge. The taunt for Garrosh is already active and can be used here. With the 16 stacks that we're seeing for Washed Up's Alarak, if he can get a few more in these pokes, then it's a great start for him as well when it comes to the damage output. The problem for them is still no level 10. There they are. Heroics are finally in. That gives us the deadly charge and the Ring of Frost. And now the time for the team fight. Stun into stun into stun. And Alarak with a big save. Sorry, Garrosh with the big save. Alarak with the setup, and here comes the ring, connecting with 2. Deadly charge into the back line, but Bakul gets away, and the mosh pit connects as Nick wants the kill against Imperius and is setting it up for his teammates. Max Payne is moving out, but there's still a kill now for Washed Up. That setup was fantastic, and Hazops with a great Ring of Frost here, connecting with 2. Nick sliding in shortly afterwards and making sure that they get at least 1 kill out of the setup. But Imperius is about to be back, and that objective is still looking very, very good for Team Cheese. Here comes the setup against Bakul, though Nature's Cure already being used, and Dominal earlier being used as well. Quest completed, as we still have them poking for objective number 2. 21 stacks now for Alarak on the negatively charged, trying to add a few more to the tick. And there's the quick raise, but a few hit points have been removed thanks to the 5-man, the 4-man up at the top. Objective still ending up in the hand of Team Cheese, and now the question is how big or how hard can they push the bot lane? Still a bit of a jump attempt here to cut off Nick and or Hazops, but it's not quite working out for them. So as we're heading onto the bot lane, and the poke here at the top is already starting, Alarak on 20,000 has taken out the numbers in the game. He's the top damage dealer. And that's a big push at the top lane right now, whereas Thrall is the only one dealing with the Immortal at the bottom of the map. And that Immortal should be able to take the fort down. But Team Cheese has other plans. They want to get more than that. They want to get more than only the fort. They want to make sure that they're getting the keep at the top opened up. They won't be able to take it down, but opening it up alone at the wall is already going to help. 2 versus 2 now, 22,000 damage for Alarak. The fort is already down. The Immortal is approaching the wall. They're trying to now get access to both of the keeps here as they're starting to push in. Nick is waiting at the side, but he doesn't have the mosh pit ready yet. Still a good slide. Could be making the difference. Earthquake already used. They're trying to make the play for Yorel. Frostwolf pack completed for Chris on his Pipika account as we see that stun against him, and that's the kill. That's the kill, and the Ring of Frost came through and connected with Skok, but the Armament, the ult came out. And now we have a 5 versus 4. Still the lead in kills, the lead in experience. And Team Cheese is looking good here. Game number 1, as I said. Stacks are still coming for Alarak though, so a late game could definitely bring him a lot more damage. And that might be a bit difficult for Team Cheese to deal with. But so far they're actually doing a great job here. Here comes the slide again, attempt at a push out. They're fighting over this. Chris isn't here yet, but they might still get the kill against Backward, but they don't. They do, but the double kill against them as ETC and Jaina both fall, and they're trying to get even more. Mene is on the run, trying to get away here, and they are already following it up, trying to chase him down slowly but steadily. 31 stacks now for him, and eventually Mene should fall here. Has absolutely no right to escape, and that, at the end of the day, is going to be a staggered death. Yep, they're going to get him eventually, and he's going to die once that Jaina and ETC are back, which is definitely a bit unfortunate for them, especially since not everybody is chasing. We still see a camp taken down here at the bottom of the map. Main is still on the run. And yeah, Backward is now coming in too, and that's a 3-for-1. And at this point, this is obviously the end of it. He got a couple of stacks for his efforts, so he's currently sitting at 34, and they have level 13 as well. 6 kills against 3, but the Immortal is spawning in another 20 seconds. Mene should be back in time for it. But it is pretty sick. There's the second kill against Alarak, and therefore Sadism is reset again. I was actually sitting in quite well above 100% on it earlier. But yep, dropped down pretty heavily after the first kill against him. But as we said, he's still the top damage dealer in the game. 33,000 for him right now. That second kill obviously not really helping his numbers. But Alarak is back to business and is now starting to make his way back into the battlefield. As we have the slow poke against the Immortal. 2 already ended up in the hands of Team Cheese, and they're trying to get now a 3rd one as well. The poke nearly into the halftime show. Indomitable already being used. There's the slide. Nick is looking for an opportunity. Throw with the Earthquake, trying to go for backhull to throw into the backlines. They're trying to get the kill here. Ring of Frost, and that's the end of Garrosh. Garrosh down, and they get the kill, the counter kill against ETC. Nice setup here, actually. Mucke barely escaping the Alarak combo. Alarak himself still in a bit of trouble and might actually go down, and that's the end as we're seeing the resets of Li Ming gaining a lot of value, and they go in for Immortal number 3. And that's not the only thing. We're actually seeing some damage against the top lane keep thanks to the catapult. And the keep is not going to fall here, but it's definitely starting to be hurt. And we have now 8 kills against 4, and they're going to get this one. This might even be nearly 100%, guys. For Washed Up, this is a bit of a disaster. I mean, just put yourself in their shoes for just a second. They've been dominant for the last 3-4 weeks. And now all of a sudden, they are still behind, 13 minutes into the game, around level 16 as the next talent, with a 3rd Immortal now claimed by their opponent. And this is only a best of 3. I mean, I can't stress this enough. Normally, heading into a tournament like this, we're starting from the get-go with best of 5 series, and there you can easily recover from 1 loss. But now, in the best of 3 series, if you are down on the first map, then you are in trouble. Your opponent definitely has an easy chance of pushing out there. Muck is rotating from the top lane now as after he pushed out an additional wave. 16 is nearly ready for them. And now we're having them already flanking in. They're trying to go for Hazops, and the pressure is there. Not only on Hazu, but also Nick, who's once again being thrown in. Backward is trying to set him up for a kill. Max Payne, on the other hand, in trouble, but still survives for a little bit longer. They can't get close enough, and there's the Tranquility from Alfurin. Moshpit, baby, immediately interrupted, but still the double connect with the Ring of Frost. Nice job by Hazops. Nick is completely isolated and might go down here. here. They go for ETC, and oh my god, Nick actually survives. The problem is that Mane, with the 39 stacks that he has right now, is not able to make it. And the keep is already down. They're trying to get another kill, and Banana H is getting dropped. That's 2 down. Hazops with 60 HP gets saved by Nick. Moonfire. Oh, Gulnar doesn't get in range. And they actually save Hazu. Jaina alive. The problem is that the core is now starting to fall, and that might be the opening that Team Cheese needed to claim victory in game number 1. They're going in on it. 16 talents in their hands. Jaina down, and this is game as Team Cheese takes game number 1 in the best of 3 series at the HeroesHype Premier Series playoffs. Infernal Shrines, game number 2, everybody. And guess what? Team Cheese is in the lead. And I actually asked, and as expected, or at least anticipated, in game number 1, I was wondering a little bit about whether the partnership ended or what the reason for the name change is. And indeed, the partnership between Team Cheese and Wind and Rain ended apparently with the end of Division S. And therefore, they are back to their old name, Team Cheese. Same team. And I want to say the same style, but they are just a lot stronger. Again, if you watch the playoffs for Division S Europe, you've probably already seen that there we've seen a completely different Wind and Rain than what we observed in the regular season. They looked way more aggressive, they looked more on point, and that's reflected in this series now as well. Game number 1 against Washed Up was a good one for them. Now we're heading into Infernal Shrines, and obviously they still need to win one map. But we have now Washed Up with a ban on Mephisto, first of all. So again, the Make play, obviously. Make is the one that always wants to play Mephisto on maps like this one when he can. And he's the only one where Mephisto gets actually banned against him. Now the Panda is banned together with Hammer. And there's Hanzo with Mane this time, which allows us still for Team Cheese to get maybe for Berkult Johanna, which he played a lot. We've seen him now on Garrosh as well. Diablo is open, another great tank at the front line. You could go into an early Tyrande if you wanted now too. Even though we've seen a bit more Alexstrasza on this map. More so on the North American side, by the way. But even in Europe, Alexstrasza sees play on Infernal Shrines. Not a ton, but she's picked here. Alright, all shall suffer once again as Max Payne is playing Leoric. We have Gulnar on Malfurion. So he's going to try and control those choke points with the roots that he has. Then again, the question, what does Wash Up do? Are we going to see Jaina, for example, again? Hazops could easily play that if he wanted to. We're having also the auto attackers that are still in play here. We've seen quite a bit of Reyna if needed. But are we going to see maybe that Garrosh that I talked about earlier from Nick? It's Diablo instead. Fits the map, and there's Gul'dan. So likely Hazu on Hanzo, and Gul'dan played by Mane or vice versa, like one of the two here. But the bans are coming in, and we have a pretty nice setup for Washed Up already. What I really would like to have from them still is some kind of setup with Diablo. That could be Tyrande, that could be any other support that is able to capitalize on the stun that we are seeing from Dibbles. But maybe Tyrande gets even banned out here now by Team Cheese. They have at least the opportunity to do that. But they're going for Urel first, so they don't want to give Chris Urel. And, well, in this case, the ban against Team Cheese, I mean, you could... there's no damage yet on their side. So you could definitely try and limit some of the damage potential. Maybe you're afraid that they are picking Jaina, then you ban her out. If you're more so worried about the main tank and you don't want them with Garrosh, for example, or with Johanna, you could ban that hero out respectively, which is what they're doing now. And, yeah, for this... let's see, what else do we have? Well, double pick on the other side first for Team Cheese. And again, keep in mind, they are in the lead right now. This is the best of 3. This is not a best of 5. We're still in the first round of the winner bracket. So it should be a really interesting one at that. I'm a little bit hyped for it, I'm not gonna lie, because I haven't seen Washed Up under so much pressure for quite some time. There's the Johanna pick. And there comes Genji for Make. Okay. Alright, alright, alright. I like that. Gets the Genji pick in. Still needs some kind of, ideally, poke damage. I'm honestly at this point wondering if they're really going into something like Jaina, which I originally thought they might do. I would love to have something like Ikel'Thas here, but I don't really think that anybody outside of Mane really wants to play the hero as much. On this level, at least that is. Obviously in the lower leagues he gets a lot more value. as we've seen, obviously. And there's Alexstrasza! Alexstrasza and Blaze. Okay, I like it. So we have a real dragon in the game now. Not a pretender like Gnomi. And what is our last pick now on Infernal Shrines? What do we get? I mean, again, they still need damage. They still need some reliable poke. Alexstrasza and Blaze together with Diablo should actually give Washed Up a really good position on these shrines. I mean, seriously, especially with the Dragon Queen. And as the last pick, we get Junkrat. Okay, the rat is in, and that seals the deal for game number 2. Let's see who takes it. Is Washed Up able to come back into the best of 3 series, or will they find themselves in the loser bracket after this one? Let's find out on Infernal Shrines. Game number 2, Washed Up down against Team Cheese, and map number 2 is Infernal Shrines. Hazorps on the left side with Gul'dan. We're seeing Banana Age for Washed Up on Alexstrasza. We have Chris with his Pepica account on Blaze, main on Hanzo, and Nick on Diablo. On the right side of the map, Team Cheese with Galnagulna on Malfurion, Backhult on Johanna, Maka on Genji, Max Payne on Leoric, and Skok on Junkrat. Alright, time to shine. I mean, this is really the moment when Washed Up have to show that they're not only able to work under pressure, but they're also able to just take 2 games in a row now. Because if they don't, then they are in the lower bracket, and that is going to be a little bit of a problem for them, I would assume, because I guess the idea was to really just rocket through the winner bracket. Backhult is riding the golden cock like a champ on Johanna. We're having, at the same time, Maka already ghosting around here. I mean, again, if you're playing Genji and Maka is really known for his Genji play, there's a reason the hero was so often banned out against him in HGC, even after Genji has slightly fallen off in the meta. So we'll actually see how that works out. But the resets that you oftentimes get and the continuous poke make him extremely annoying on that hero. I have to admit, though, that when it comes to sheer shrine control, I actually like a lot what Washed Up has. That doesn't mean that Team Cheese has a bad composition for the shrine, because we're talking about Junkrat with the poke from outside. We're having also, well, Johanna with the AoE, plus in addition to that, obviously, Mr. Swiffer himself. Leoric is another hero that can bring the AoE to really get momentum there. But then you compare to Washed Up and the wave clear that they have there. Oil Spill, Hanzo, Dibbles for the position, you have Gul'dan for the poke, and once that you have the 20-25 stacks, Banana Age can simply activate the Dragon Queen, and that normally gives you so much power for such a duration that you can easily take the remaining 15 to 20 stacks to make sure that you claim the objective itself. So having something like Alexstrasza is obviously a really big deal here. NA in the past has actually really preferred to go into combos with Alexstrasza and Tychus, because they can pretty much make the same play with 2 heroes. They can stack the Dragon Queen and Odin, and then have incredible strong heroic abilities or traits that allow them to claim the objective over their opponent, just because nobody wants to fight into those 2. So this is not something that we see these days all that much anymore. But I actually think that if you're, for example, playing in a bit of an amateur level, if you have someone that is decent at Tychus, then that is a great setup for you. Tychus isn't really a big pick anymore, also because his attack range is so low that he oftentimes is very exposed to damage and to coordinated attacks from the opponent. But especially on the lower level league, I think the combo between Tychus Odin plus Alexstrasza Dragon Queen can still give you a shrine easily if you don't activate the 2 at the same time and just stagger them out. And if you just play around the objective, that's exactly what you want to do. But as it stands, we're having still a bit of early game poke. I mean, there's a slight advantage now for Team Cheese since they got two of the camps. We're also seeing the Eternal Retaliation, by the way. So a little bit more for Backhult in terms of the wave clear, since he gets the cooldown reduction. And on Shrine fights, that should pretty much enable him to pop out the Condemn at nearly every single time. But we'll see how exactly that works out. So for the time being, Backhult is already starting to rotate over. We're still having Marcus zoning out Banana Age a little bit. Chris is also still active there, and Leo has already taken position. Leo is already sitting at the top, and he's just swivering away together with Backhult, the 2 of them. Ha! They want to get the stacks and they actually get them. 17 against 1. Guys, there's no way that Washed Up wins this one. Not with... Oh, actually, well, they might. Again, Dragon Queen is a big deal. So they might have a chance here, but being this far behind this early in the fight, that's always a problem. Alright, let's see how much Leo can get. 30 against 8, that's what we're having right now. Is Banana H popping the trigger, or is he keeping the Dragon Queen for the potential defense against the opponent's Punisher if the Shrine is taken by Team Cheese? And I think that's what's happening here. And it seems very much so. So, like, now they're going in again. They're trying to go for Chris, and he's able to move out. Broccoli not able to block the escape. And here we go. Dragon Queen can now be used for the defense if he wants to pop it. Having on level 7 again, the hunger for power immediately taken. Already the bait over the wall, standard play here, and the attempt to at least take said wall to make sure that they are also taking the fountain and take the sustain on the lane away. But they can't quite get the fountain here. Wall has been opened up though. They might have overstayed their welcome a little bit. Yep, there comes the attack, and the jet propulsion connected well. But in addition to that, we're obviously seeing Malfurion covering the retreat for the red team as he keeps Backhold and Macke alive. So the game starts up, and we have a slight lead in structures for Team Cheese. Nothing really that forces the issue yet. It's still early on in the game, and the first objective usually doesn't get all that much for you. But let's see what's happening around level 10. That's when things are starting to become a bit more spicy, since there's obviously a lot of combo potential on both sides. Depends a little bit on what Nick is going to do. When you're playing on Infernal Shrines, Lightning Breath and Apocalypse are both definitely viable. But if you're looking for a combo, then a good Hanzo arrow into an Apocalypse can be absolutely deadly. And there's more to lock the targets down. I mean, you can also get a jet propulsion in, for example. So there's actually quite a bit to work around with. Hazops, very likely to go still into the Horrify. Hazops himself has to be careful here. Sitting on 22 stacks, by the way, on the Echoed Corruption. Trying to get a few more right here. Broccoli already in play. Dragon Queen gets popped to steal the camp, or to grab the camp. Max Payne about to fall. And Leo activates his trade value. Goes into his Leorki play. Galnagulna gets hit and is eliminated too. Yeah, washed up. A little bit angry in the last game. Able to get the 2 kills in. And a slight lead now took in experience as well. Blaze is already moving to the top side. Absolutely chill. Blazing 420 right here. Making sure that he relaxes on the lane a little bit against Macke, who has definitely had a little bit too much Adderall. I mean, Genji always just like zipping around there the entire time. That guy just can't stand still. Ask an Ana player what he thinks about that. Level 10 abilities are already there, and that means Apocalypse. Potential combo with the arrow, as mentioned. The rotation towards the top side, as we're seeing Gul'dan making his way in. And he gets a few more stacks right there. Gets the drain in too, but Max Payne is moving away with no problem whatsoever. 10s are ready for both side rights now. So there we have again the Blessed Shield. Going full Captain America here. And trying to hit a couple of targets with that. As we're having the camps being taken out as well. It's camp time. So, yep, with that, both of the teams are already looking at that. Banana Age with the build, going into the additional movement speed, still having the Cleansing Flame Ult, trying to take to the skies here. Upgraded Ruby Wings on level 20 is what we couldn't expect there. And especially Alexstrasza on this map gets really nasty once that we have the level 16 talent and the cooldown reduction there. So camps are now ready for both sides, and it is Shrine time again! Let's go, baby! Macke already with the poke. I mean, honestly, that ninja has a little bit of a problem. It's like running around, zipping around, just like, he's just a little bit too hyperactive. When Genji was a kid, his parents definitely failed to bring him to the doctor and let him getting diagnosed, because he definitely has a problem. And he has more than one problem. First of all, his ally Junkrat is already down, and now Genji himself in a bit of trouble. Zips out again after the Axe Strike. The quest completed for Dibbles, meaning he has a lot more hit points. And there's the kill against Gul'dan, but Malfurion dies too. The old geezer with the green beard, already totally mossy, is falling here. Max Payne still alive. Backhold on the run and gets out with 40 HP. But Nick comes in and just crushes that shitty ninja straight into the wall. This time there's no diva to save your ass. Yeah, that was definitely... Wasn't that one of the weirdest trailers that Blizzard ever put out? I mean, you have that epic fight between Genji and Diablo, and everybody says, alright, it's time for Deathwing, and then D.Va comes in, and nobody, like, honestly, was there... I mean, one of the... It was probably the most epic video that Blizzard ever released for this, but D.Va? Seriously? It was a little bit weird. I think the only other hero release that Blizzard had that could rival that in terms of disappointment was probably the Probius release. I mean, it was actually quite stunning back then because Probius was released at Katowice, if I remember correctly, and the release was hyped up immensely by a lot of employees of Blizzard and said like, oh my god guys, you're gonna be so excited, it's gonna be amazing, like you just wait. And all the pro players were sitting there staring at the video, and then Probius comes out and you could really see on the face of every single player, and everybody was there like, the fuck is that? Why do you think we want that? So it was very interesting. There was a bit of a disconnect of the expectations that Blizzard had releasing the hero and what they thought the community would think about him, and nobody wanted to have a shitty pro. With the exception of... oh, the arrow! Missing there. With the exception, of course, of the specialist mains that nobody likes anyways. I mean, do you remember that? The roles, specialists? And every specialist is always like, I don't have to join team fights. Did you look at my siege damage? I'm not joining team fights. Look at my siege damage. I'm doing things. I'm never joining a fight. I could play a solo player game. I'm just playing PvE all game long.
I don't wanna join fights because then I can die, but minions can't take me down. But look at my siege damage. I'm helping.
Yeah, those guys were very excited about the Probius release. Nobody else was pretty hyped about this. But anyways, we currently don't really have to deal with that, thankfully, because that hero has never really played a role in competitive. Was picked one or twice, but that was more so of an AD setup. But as it stands, 5 kills against 1, so definitely the blue team coming out firing a little bit. They are able to take down the fort. We have in the meantime Make and Max Payne still topside, and Make is obviously the entire time looking for kills, trying to hunt a few of those down. But yeah, as Harzobs again, Max Payne gets out. Jojo with a little bit more damage, by the way, now, thanks to the Holy Fury on the Shrine, so that should help. We're already seeing the Pacify taken by Alex Straza. And in addition to that, we're seeing the Devastating Charge, so a bit more of a focus into that. And 16 is gonna give Dominate, so it's gonna be pretty awesome. And up at the top lane, Make and Max Payne. I honestly don't really see how they want to get the kills right now. I feel on level 20 they have with Buried Alive a great opportunity, but as I said during the draft, I really feel there's an advantage for Washed Up. I really think that they have an opportunity here to take this pretty easily, if they don't screw up and just play their cards right during the big fights. Nice push against the fort though. I like what we are seeing here from Team Cheese, but the advantage in experience, that's really what worries me a little bit. Because at this point, we're having 5 against 1 here in terms of kills. We have level 16 any second. Diablo is already an absolute madman, but he can literally one-shot heroes after he gets level 16. Like, this is really where Diablo is just really becoming terrifying. I mean, the Lord of Terror, and as I said before, Draconic Discipline. Yeah, level 16 for Alex Straza. Cooldown reduction. Hell yeah, baby, now we're talking. And in addition to that, we have Domination. Dibbles, you get 1 good engage and a couple of walls around the shrine, and bam, there's your one-shot right there. If he gets the flip over and 2 wall stuns in, then you are just toast. But 16 is at least going to be ready for the red team as the shrine starts, and that's actually quite something. So they get an even fight talent, and Hazu isn't done with his level 1 yet. He doesn't have the 40 stacks, he's sitting at 33 right now. Already Nick looking for an opportunity here. Leo is still at the top lane. He's ghosting around there. But there's a big lead. Like, this is another shrine for Washed Up. I mean, they're not even fighting at this point. They're kind of starting to realize that they have a rough time with this setup around any of the team fights. So I'm honestly wondering how Team Cheese is planning of turning this around. If they're looking at an isolation kill, if the strategy is simply to just buy time until level 20 and then play with the Buried Alive and use that as an advantage. Because they're just pressuring this out. But the problem that they have is that they go up against a team that is incredibly experienced. And just look at these guys, they don't give a fuck about that fort. They're just moving in immediately at the bot lane and saying like, hey, if you have 2 heroes at the top side, I mean, have fun with that. We're gonna go down to the bottom to keep immediately, and we're gonna get value. Have fun trying to race us here and trade evenly into us. That ain't happening, boys. So the fort is down, and this is falling as well. Genji moved away, was actually interrupted by Chris here, who took to the top for the defense. But outside of the fort, I don't think that the keep is going to fall here. But what is going to fall is Leo. Buying himself a little bit of time, though. So he actually bought time for the team. I mean, it might look a little bit Monka-esque what we're seeing here, but that was actually a little bit of a planned suicide, so to buy them time. The problem is that Genji dying was not part of the plan, I would assume. And there's a great arrow. It might give enough time to get another kill, especially since the Horrify hits back hold, and that's going to be the end of Johanna. Can run away as much as you want, but at the end of the day, you are dead, girl. Yep, Nick is already going to go straight in for the next charge in just a moment. Backhold on the run, and there it is. The Lord of Terror, with a bit of terrifying action in game number 2. 8 kills against 1, and there's the keep eliminated. 3 more levels until we have Team Cheese on level 20. Ooh, and Leo activating the trade value again. Mad value from him on that trade. Actually, not mad. He died 3 times now. And as I said previously, quite often, in many of these fights, you actually want Leo to be the target. You want him to die quickly because he's respawning in the fight itself. He has no travel time from the Nexus, and that can be a huge advantage. But the game hasn't really panned out that way. So the 3 deaths against him, the 3 kills against him, definitely an issue. 29,000 for Genji, top damage for the red team. That isn't even close to what we're seeing from Hanzo and from Gul'dan here. And the problem is that we only have 12,000 damage for Junkrat. That's not really a whole lot. I mean, Alex Straza has 10k, so just to put them in perspective a little bit. Half a level away from level 20, makes things even harder. Nick is already sitting there, and he's looking for the stun, and doesn't get it. And if that stun connects with the wall, ooh, Genji is screwed. But he's able to get away here. But you could see that everybody was already lining up for that kill. We couldn't quite get it, but it was definitely good. More damage in. Gul'dan obviously now with a completed Echo Corruption on level 1. And so far, so good. Rotation still down to the bottom of the map, as the agenda for Team G is to gain experience. It's the only thing that they can really do. They don't really have a lot of option here at this point. If they make level 20, as I said before, the Buried Alive alone might bring them back into this, but it is a tough call there. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna see Hazovs with another Horrify. There's the arrow, baby! And the Apocalypse! Goodbye, Malfurion. Yeah, Malfurion is down and went into his favorite song here. Time to say goodbye. And Johanna, she is obviously touched by all those lyrics and by the amazing singing voice that Malfurion has. Who would have known? And immediately joins him in death, because it can be quite lonely there. So the two of them now waiting to come back into it. The problem is they might never be able to pull that off, since Washed Up is smelling an opportunity to end the game. It seems a little bit hesitant here. But they're trying to go for Max Payne right now. Stun doesn't connect, and Leo gets out. Chance to go for the next objective, and therefore maybe the next kill. But look at the experience. Level 20, getting a little bit closer for Team Cheese. And we all know it ain't easy being cheesy, but they took game 1. And Washed Up needs to win 2 in a row, but they're on a good way to make the first win happen right here. So, question is, can the Buried Alive change things? That's what we're gonna find out right now. It's time for Max Payne to bring the passion and to show them how it's done. Drop their 2-3-man entomb, bury them alive, and then get the kills in with the rest of the team. If they can pull that off, that would be the dream. They have to prove it first. And so far, they have to, well, face off against another Punisher. So that's definitely gonna happen right now. So with that, 20 versus 20, 11 kills against 1. And there's Leo already sitting at the side, getting attacked immediately, and Wraith walking out of there. In style. It's all time about the Entomb. Does the Entomb land? And if it does, do they get the kills afterwards? Already the check. Here they come, starting to flank, but the keep is already getting a little bit low, so they need to be careful with that. Here comes Max Payne, and this could be painful. He's looking for it. Does he find it? So far, that's not the case. They can try to go for the kill here. Leo goes already, well, quite down. Yep, there's the attempt on there. Yeah, can they get the kill? Nah, doesn't work. Entombs the bunker, and it has no real effect. Nice Nature's Cure there from Gul'dan to save it from the stun on the Apocalypse. But it doesn't matter, or does it? They're getting the kill against Leoric. Leorki is down. And now the attempt to go for a second kill and dropping the core. 2 of the keeps are eliminated. The top camp for Team Cheese is pushing a little bit. And that is potentially that. Yep, washed up. They're going like a hot knife through butter, or like hot butter through cheese or whatever. Screwing up my own meme as they're trying to go for the core. And they're able to melt the shields down. But the defense is still there. And the top keep is about to fall. So that's a trade actually. A keep for a keep. And there might be kills. HeroesHype goes down. That's the first one to die. Can they get more? And the answer is yes. There's the second kill. So all of a sudden they were able to take down 2. There's 3 catapults moving onto the corner. So that might hurt. But they're actually going to try and end here, aren't they? They're moving to the top lane. It looks like they are going to try and end this. But I don't think they can. I mean, they're already getting interrupted here. They might be able to if everybody else... That's what we talked about. Look at Nick. Did you see that? One shot, baby. Malfurion gets wrecked. 45% with the catapults attacking the core, but Leo already took care of it. But still, we've seen the kill against Malfurion. And that's Nick against BeastNit. If you have a good Diablo player on your team, he can just one-shot the shit out of opponents in the late game. That's exactly what we saw here. I mean, just look at the damage output. He's sitting on 33,000. It's about as much damage as... It's actually hard to compare, to be honest. Half the damage of Hanzo. Not that that's something, like, really happening. But yeah, either way. For now, we're having still a little bit of a push down at the bottom of the map. 1 catapult. And we are in Winion territory. 20 minutes into the game, it's definitely starting to hurt here. The one thing that I also want to highlight with this a little bit is that obviously now you win one team fight and the game's over. I mean, there is already potential for Washed Up to simply backdoor the shit out of their opponent, but there is still the potential to just go straight in for the core if Team Cheese wins a fight. And that's now possible. Again, level 20 for Leo makes the big difference here. So there is a chance for them to pull that off. So Washed Up is not quite yet victorious here. There's the attempted steal. They're trying to go for the play. The damage from Hanzo, and they're trying to get the hell out of there. Malfurion comes in from the side and drops the heal on Macke. I need healing. Every healer, always, when Genji comes in, it's just like things, shut the fuck up. You're not the only one, Genji. Genji was an only child. I mean, you definitely know that. I mean, yes, we're talking about the Shimada brothers, but I think Hanzo was actually adopted in quite late because Genji has all the traits of an only child. I mean, that guy, I've never seen any Heroes of the Storm character that's quite that selfish. I mean, always me, 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 me. I need healing. I need healing. It's like, it's really annoying. Pretty entitled, that guy. But yeah, so 13 against 4. There's time to fight. Time to go in and try and get the kill here. Where's the Entomb? Does Max Payne drop it or what? He's trying to move in for it. He's looking for it. He's already going for the damage reduction here. Trying to connect with HeroesHype already. We're having Bakul getting attacked there. Yep, Shrine is looking pretty... I mean, I don't want to call it even, but it's a little bit better than previously for Team Cheese. They still have a chance here. The problem is that Washed Up is taking a massive lead on it. As usual, double stun into the wall. And there's the kill against Genji. He needed healing. He didn't get any healing. And now we have the kills coming in, the Entomb missing. Everything is going to hell for Team Cheese right now. Everything is going to hell at this point. There comes the attack. Another stun from Nick, and Diablo is just killing it. The one thing that concerns me a little bit for Washed Up is this. Again, we are in Winion territory, but Leo is down. Here's the Protector. They're trying to go for it, and we're seeing Chris back. 90% on the core. He took the catapults down. There's the attack against Bakul. Bakul, indestructible, already procced. Having a kill against the rat, and now they're going to take down Johanna too, aren't they? Indeed they do. A 5-man team wipe. As they're going straight for the core to force game number 3 in this series. Oh yeah, baby, there we go. Max Payne goes around in the background, but that is it. We're going to see game number 3 in the first best of 3 of the HeroesHype Premier Series playoffs. Nicely done. GG and well played as Washed Up has cleaned house. Tomb of the Spider Queen, game number 3. I'm actually happy that I chose this for my little live game here. Again, since there's always like questions sometimes about like, hey, why do we sometimes not have a draft in these games? It's actually pretty easy. Rule of thumb, rule of thumb, guys. If you see a draft in a video, it's a live game. If you don't see a draft, it's been casted from a replay. That's actually going to happen with this tournament quite a bit because a lot of the games are being played at the same time, so parallel to each other, which means that a lot of the games I'm going to try and catch live, but the ones that I cannot catch live, I'm very likely to recast them later for everybody on YouTube and also on Twitch. And again, especially if you're watching this on YouTube right now, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and that you click the bell icon for the notifications. Would be absolutely appreciated, and it can also help, of course, with a thumbs up on the video if you enjoy the commentary and have fun with it. With that said, let's go into game number 3. It's the last game of the best of 3 series, obviously. The Panda banned out again. Another hero that's actually interesting, because in Europe, the Panda, whew, S tier. When you look at North America, they're looking at the Pandas like, yeah, alright, sometimes you can go into him, but generally speaking, they're not a fan. So, at this point, we have Tracer banned out against Marke, and there's the Tyrael. This time, Berghult is able to play him, and after the loss on the last map, Team Cheese, the former Wind and Rain, obviously quite determined to make sure that they're turning this, and that they're starting to, well, starting through the winner bracket from the here on out. Hammer gets banned out again. They just identified from the beginning that they just don't want to deal with Hazard. It's just like, no, 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 no. No Hammer time for you. We know what happens when the Germans get their hands on a couple of tanks, and we don't really want to deal with this. It got a little bit out of the hand the last time it happened, and yeah, we just don't want to do that. No tanks for the Germans. So, the Germans have been playing with... Actually, what did we see from him? 2 majors, right? I mean, we saw Gul'dan and we saw him on Jaina. So, yeah, this time... seems like Mena might head into Jaina. We have Nick on Garrosh, and that's the hero that was banned against him multiple times, because Nick has been absolutely killing it with Garrosh. So let's see if he can do that again. Was already great performance on Diablo in the last game. Several one-shots, a couple of those against Genji. And with that, we have Mephisto for Marke. Oh yeah, baby! Not banned out, immediately taken. And there's the ban against Malthael. Okay. Malthael banned out. Keeps Garrosh a little bit safe at this point. And what do we get as a ban from Team Cheese? Ana! Ana gets banned out. Alright, our little sharpshooter already eliminated here. And let's have a look at our next double pick. We still need a support. Tyrande hasn't been picked yet, so she could be one of the options that we're going to get from them. We have seen actually a plethora of supports on this map. Rhaegar has made it into the map several times as well. But yeah, Tyrande, if they want to go into the stun setup, is an option. Leo already picked for the bottom of the map, and there's Tyrande. That leaves us with 1 hero for Hazu, and that could actually be quite a lot. I mean, Hazu could... He actually played on this map a lot of Rexa, and Rexa has so far been missing out on any of the maps there, but it was also not the best Rexa map so far. But since they already have Chris on Leo, it is a little bit unlikely that they're going to go into Rexa as well. So it's more likely going to be an auto attacker if they don't go into a third melee. Could be Reyna, for example. Haven't seen Jimmy in a bit. There's Phoenix and Urel. Alright. So, still trying to play around Mephisto. And then last but not least, washed up with the next pick here. And the final pick for the final map. This is a best of 3 series. We are in the first round of the winner bracket. And what is Hazu going to take right now? Are we going to see Jimmy? Is that going to be something that they're going to play around? Or are we going to have a different setup for them combing off with Jaina here? And the answer is... it's a perfect day for some mayhem. Mayhem it is. Junkrat. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, game number 3, the last map of the best of 3 series at the HeroesHype Premier Series Playoffs. Game number 3, the final map in the series. Which team drops into the lower bracket? Which team makes it into the next round of the winner bracket? Washed up on the left with Hazobs on Junkrat, Nick on Garrosh, Main on Jaina, Banana H on Tyrande, and Chris on Leoric. And Team G is on the right side of the map with Make on Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred. We're having Khaldor now on Malfurion, Skok on Phoenix, Max Payne on Urel, and Berkhold finally got access to one of his, if not his absolutely preferred hero, Tyrael. So, yep, there we have it. Let's go into our third game and see who advances to the next round here. Who puts it off there? We have on... Thank you very much, dude. You too. Appreciate it. Thank you. Such a nice guy. Australians, they're just amazing. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Well, once more. Do we have no level 1 yet for Urel? Hobbity hop, little goat already all the way up at the top. And we're having down at the bottom of the map, Skok just sitting in a bush. He might actually get a sale any second. Some damage. Oh, and the 10% movement speed increase allows him to move away from the stun. So, top side. Make again. We're going to keep our eye on him. Lightning Nova build for him so far with a Furious Spark on Mephisto. It's one of the reasons why Mephisto is played on this map. He likes sparkling things, and there's a lot of gems here, so he's a little bit... he's a little bit into the sparkling shit. So it's always like tricky, because usually the heroes that are totally into that stuff don't really want to keep their gems up. Marco already jumping around here. The stun comes in, a little bit predictable. The problem is that Nick gets body blocked, and Berkhold is just everywhere here. But the team is still saving Garrosh's ass. And Berkhold himself is now also going to move out. But it is a bit of an indication of what's to come here, because, well, Berkhold is a monster on that hero. Honestly, a good Tyrael player is such a pleasure to observe. It's really funny. I mean, good Tyrael players are amazing. It's a little bit like a good ETC player. Whenever you see like a mediocre or bad ETC, it's immediately visible, but then you see someone from the caliber of Breeze, for example, on ETC, and all of a sudden he's all shitting over opponents, and it's pretty incredible. It's really something that applies to Tyrael as well. Max Payne, on the other hand, is in maximum pain already, as he getting taken down there. So yeah, nicely done. That was actually a pretty cool setup for them. So yeah, job well done here, as they get the first kill. Washed up, leading the charts here on the kill count. Level 4 abilities now ready on both sides, and with this we're now seeing the static barrier. Lightning Nova, Lightning Nova, and Lightning Nova. And Make already trying to interrupt Mene here. Needs a little bit of damage for this. We have, by the way, 0 gemstone. Not a single one of the teams has started to turn in there. And here comes another approach into Tyrael. Nick, 1 stun, 2 stun. That's the end of him. Oh, what? Nice. Unfortunate for Hazu. Didn't quite throw it out to a point where they could move Tyrael back in. But that was a close call there. Like a really close call. Khaldor eats the owl. Actually, in this case, this could be quite literal. I mean, you look at Malfurion and you really think he's one with nature, but I'm not quite sure what that means. I could totally see that old geezer with the green beard going straight in and eating an owl. It's probably where he has all those feathers from. All those owls that he ate. Probably likes chicken. If you're running around with feathers like that, something is definitely wrong with you. I mean, him and Medivh, they both have a bit of a mental problem, if you ask me. I mean, in my opinion, what Blizzard should really introduce to the Nexus is some psychologists, because a lot of the guys that are in the Nexus could definitely need one. But hey, that's me. So with that, we're having the push in the middle, as both of the camps are already moving against each other. No level 7 yet for either one. A bit of a turn-in that has happened, but there's a kill. Garrosh goes down, nice throw-in, and that was really well done. So they get the kill against him. That might give them enough opportunities to also turn a few of those gems in themselves. We're having at the bottom of the map still, well, Phoenix sitting there. And Malfurion is already turning in. There we go. Okay, the guy, aka Chris, already trying to push this out. He's not going to be able to accomplish too much there. 1 stack, by the way, on Broccoli. Little Broccoli, only 1 stack so far. Feel bad for him. 19 versus 19 gems turned in. And Make again on the run here. Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred. Celestial Attunement is in. And in addition to that, we're now also having more of a spec into the Frostbolt here with the Ice Lance. Hand of Freedom, obviously, for Urel. If anybody ever doubted that Urel is an American GOAT and not a European GOAT, that talent put all those speculations to rest. If you have any talent in your arsenal that has the name Freedom in it, then you know exactly where you're from. That's definitely an American god right there. Or it could be a Scottish one, granted. Freedom! Okay, I can't really pull a Mel Gibson, but you all know what I'm talking about. So, yeah. Hazuops. That is a quick kill against him. Damn. That red infestation was taken, was cleaned out within seconds. That was a nice kill. Good coordination here for Team Cheese. I'm really liking that. They saw an opportunity, jumped on it, and took him down immediately. I really like, again, what we're seeing from Tyrael here in particular. It's going to be pretty awesome to see him with the 13 and 16 talents, because that's when the real fun starts with a hero. Mena, 20 gems, and he goes down. Oh, it couldn't have come at a worse time. Fantastic kill for Team Cheese. They are starting to go straight in here with the Red Web Weavers. They take down Jaina. The gems are lost. Uh-oh. Washed Up is all of a sudden in trouble. They look good in the early game, but then they lost the hero, which led to the turn-in, and just as he's back, we're seeing Jaina fall too. Gems are lost, and now the Web Weavers are pushing in with Jaina, just slowly reappearing on the map. There we have it, the fountain already going down, and boys, we are in for a bit of pain for Washed Up here. I mean, at this point, bot lane gets pushed too, and Leo obviously has trouble against the range damage. Chris is still on 34 gems, so he needs to be careful that nobody commits to him, because that's definitely worth a fort dive if you can drop him. And that fort, talking forts, is nearly down. Marke jumping in, jumping out. Where's the damage? Not there, but the fort is eliminated. And the ult had to be used from Malfurion, but they have that in time, and that's a big advantage for them now, as they are one level ahead already. And there we go. Level 10 against level 9, and Pepica, Chris, Leo, he's out there faster than, well, Bernard on a mountain climb. So yeah, with that, we're now all of a sudden having an opportunity for the red team to get even more value. I mean, they have heroic abilities, but they can't really set anything up because the lead is not big enough to go in for a deep dive. There's the Ring of Frost, and we have the Warlord's Challenge again, plus, in addition to that, the Entomb. Okay, so let's see what we can do with that. I mean, maybe a chance to force that fight again. By the way, Chris has still 40 gems, and Scott needs to get the hell out of there. Entomb, yep, and that was definitely, I mean, that was to be expected. Is there a chance to save him? No. Counter kill maybe? Maybe. Haas is a bit low there. Marke is coming in now as well. They're still fighting over this camp. It's a 5 versus 4 now, and you gotta be careful. But Hazops goes down. Feet first. We're seeing Yrel with a kill. Main is about to drop as well. Is there another jump? And yep, there is. We're just seeing one pancake jump after another as Yrel hobbity-hop plays whack-a-mole with the heroes of Washed Up. A 2-for-1 trade. They're still able to get those siege giants at the bottom of the map. And when it comes to turn-in potential, we have, well, for the red team, not enough gems yet. But it would also be the second one for them, whereas obviously Washed Up is still working on turn-in number 1. And they're working especially on it with Chris, who's now sitting at 50 gems. That's a little bit more than you want to have here, to be fair. I mean, this is getting a little bit more tricky. Camp taken at the bottom of the map. Yeah, this is under pressure now too. And all the way up to the top, Backwell is trying to turn in. And they're actually now in a position where they can get another Web Weaver wave for themselves as well. Yeah, 5 kills against 2. And they have the gems that they need. Chris on 52 is already sniffed out there. Leo gets immediately attacked. If they drop Leo at any point, that would be an absolute disaster for Washed Up. At least if those gems can't be recovered, obviously. So Mena had to go to the bot lane to deal with the Siege Giant camp, which means that he's missing at the top, where they're trying to make the play for Leo. Already has to ghost away from this one since Make came in again. Red Web Weaver waves are again descending for the second time now, since we're having the turning completed by Team Cheese. And guys, again, I have to stress this is the last game. Washed Up lost game 1, came back into the series with a victory on Infernal Shrines, but now we're looking at a setup where Washed Up could be dropped into the lower bracket. Into the losers bracket of the tournament. It's actually a little bit insane. Honestly, who would have thought that they might even end up in this position in the first place? I mean, they haven't lost the game yet, but this is starting to become tricky for them. This is actually getting really difficult. Sword of Justice already being used. That's already a great talent. So we're going to see a lot more activity now from Tyrael. The 13 talents in general obviously give them a lead now as they're pushing in with the Web Weavers. Another disastrous situation for Washed Up to be in. They have to take the beating at this point. They just have to sit there and take it. And now we're also, in addition to that, seeing, well, Velen's Chosen, the Dampening Field. We're having the Abhorred Skull as well. Spell Tower, baby. That's all that's about right now. And talking about Mephisto, let's have a quick look at the damage output that that bad boy put onto the board so far. Well, 22,000. Uh-oh. Mena. And he gets away. Yeah. That was close, though. Phoenix portaled in. He warped in. He was trying to get the kill there, but couldn't. Kinda anticipated the wrong path. 13 versus 13 right now. And actually have a bit of a wraparound here. Warp out. Stun misses. What about the porters? 63 gems on Chris. I'm not quite sure what's happening here. Does Chris have a girlfriend I don't know about? Does he is it her birthday or something? Is that a special gift that we're talking about here? I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but he needs to get rid of that shit, if you ask me. He's holding on to that for just a little bit too long, in my opinion. Chris, you can't buy love, my friend. You can't buy love. She has to like you for who you are, not for how many gems you have. But if he dies, it's an issue. If he dies, then it's a massive, massive problem. I mean, seriously, look at the amount of gems they have. It's 110. That's their ticket back into this game, no matter what the score is. Just look at the experience. It's 14 against 14. And honestly, if they get a double turn in, for example, Washed Up that is, they will take the lead. They've been able to stay in experience range for a long time. There's the taunt, but it misses. It misses Phoenix. They're going for Backhold, though. And he goes down. Trade value, maybe. Oh, the ring! And a kill against Chris. He's down. The gems, they're trying to recover them, but they can't. They recovered a few, but they still lost way too many. And it isn't even over yet. They're trying to go for Mena. And Mena on Jaina could be attacked, but they're focusing on the bot lane instead. Max Payne comes in. The goat is on the jump, and again they go for Nick. That's 30 that he just recovered. Chris is back. The fort is down. Max Payne with a max jump. No, they go for Chris instead. Well, there's another attack against Max Payne, but it's Chris who falls. Blue Web Weavers are descending, but that's honestly just a move to stop the bleeding, because right now they are in trouble. 16 talents are ready for the opponent's team. And that is starting to become a massive, massive problem. 16 is going to make for an easy defense. If you have a talent advantage at 16 over your opponent, they can drop Web Weavers as much as they want. They shouldn't be able to get a whole lot out of it. Especially if they have a 4 versus 5. I mean, Leo, okay, he is going to be back in time. But still, 16 talents, you should be easily able to defend this. And then look at the minimap. There's not a single fort left for Washed Up right now. Team Cheese has taken every single fort, and they themselves hold on to every outer structure here. Web Weaver at the top lane. Zip. Deleted. Bot lane, same picture. Mid lane. Bottom lane, yeah, pretty much the same thing, to be honest. Gonna burn that one down too. So what did that Web Weaver wave just give Washed Up? A little bit of time. They want a little bit of time. They pushed the lanes a little bit. They made sure that there's less pressure. They still have the gems for a turn-in, but they lost a big chunk of their gems. Like a big one. 40 gems, roughly? 40, 45, that's what they lost. So, yeah. What else do we have? 5 stacks for Broccoli. Pretty weak sauce Broccoli, if you ask me, in this game. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Banana H. Nick comes in. They want the fight. They get the fight. 16 versus 16, so at least they have even talents. But Jane hasn't here yet. And the fight has already started. They're trying to go in. Here comes the Tomb the Ring. Oh, baby. What a rip tire. Hazu is letting it rip. Oh my god, a triple kill. And that could be a quad kill right here. Gulnar is down, and it looks like only Max Payne is going to be able to rush away from this one. 46 gems, that's what he is able to recover. But holy hell. Washed Up, and especially Hazu, they just ripped them a new one. Team Cheese got absolutely dropped in that last encounter. Yeah, they poked a whole lot of holes into that piece of cheese there. Went for the Swiss attack. So now we're having 7 kills against 8, and it's boss time. And this is the moment where Washed Up is trying to get their momentum. That Entomb together with a Riptide and a Ring of Frost was just absolutely perfect. I mean, seriously. Perfect Entomb, bam, the Riptide afterwards, and the Ring of Frost on top of it as well. Now the Web Weavers plus the boss. Oh yeah, we are talking comeback right now. This could be the 6.5 out of 10 moment that Washed Up needs in this game to take this series. They're already going straight into the mid lane for the defense. It's the top lane that's going to suffer the most because of the boss that gets pushed in there with a camp. But let's look at the damage. Ah, that Junkrat. 37,000 right now. Looking good there. Attack at the bottom of the map though. It's already commencing, or in the mid lane. Top is already starting to fall. At least the fort is down. Over here, the fort is most likely going to get dropped as well. Max Payne with the max amount of gems, basically. 55 for him. Let's try to pull a Chris here. Yeah, they all want to go for the secret mount. They all want the secret mount. Top lane has the jump again. And yeah, they should be able to hold on to the key, but they're going to lose every single fort here. And that is going to put an experience lead into Washed Up's hands. I mean, they already have it. It's small, but it's there. So yeah, with this, we're having 18 versus 18. Top lane gets defended. They even hold on to that fountain. Barely, but they do. And at the bot lane, there's still a bit of a push happening, which is going to give a lot of experience into the hands of Team Cheese, granted. So they might actually have the 20 available a little bit earlier than their opponent. So yeah, with this, we're having again also a push into the camp. So they're trying to regain some of the position that they had previously on the map. But they can't fall into a combo like this. And guys, again, keep in mind, it only becomes worse once that level 20 hits. Once that level 20 is there, it's time for Buried Alive. Best one for sure. So with that, we're having our little Mucka push at the bottom of the map now. And it's yeah, it's totally open. It's awesome. This is a great game 20. Game 3. This is honestly pretty epic. The entire time Team Cheese has a massive lead, and now Washed Up might actually win this after all, thanks to one amazing team fight where everything came together there. So that's actually really, really cool. And yeah, with that, now what do we have? We have 7 against 8. We have still the attempt to turn in. Only one of the teams has a turn in so far, but Washed Up should have the amount of gems soon. Oh, and they actually get the turn in. Pretty much for free. Okay. Let's see what they can pull off with this. Guys, this is actually getting dangerous for Washed Up now all of a sudden, because there's level 20 so close. 4 Team Cheese now, and they have Web Weavers, and they are going to try and get the keep in the middle of the map at least. And if they get 20 with this now, they should easily get that. Seriously. Like, that should be an easy keep for them, because that timing could just work out. I mean, this is nearly perfect. Minion wave comes any moment, there's the 20, and now you have a tiny window to push this aggressively. It will be 20 versus 20. You can't really just... Yeah, they can't capitalize on a window that small. They also don't have an ability that is really that powerful that they could immediately force the fight here. On 20. Seraphim is now in, 20 on both sides. It's still an aggressive push. And a tough push to beat in the first place. Chris is still top lane. There's a rotation down to the bottom of the map as they're trying to enhance that now. And we have Cold Snap on level 20 for Jaina. Cooldown reduction, therefore. That's really what you're going for when you go straight into that talent. It's not so much about the inner damage that you get with the center of the ring. It's all about the cooldown reduction. Tire and 0 value. Ring comes out as well. That didn't do too much. Great sanctification. And here comes the kill attempt regardless. And do they get it? No. Backhult gets out. Backhult. Oh my god. No, he doesn't. Tyrande drops him. And that is the end of Tyrael. Chris doesn't have the Entomb anymore and gets pushed out by Max Payne. Good job, Tyrell. Everybody is slowed though. There's the warp out. Barely happening. Another slow. Chris comes in. They try to go for the counter kill. Oh, Chris is dead and Phoenix is alive. Nothing proc there. And uh-oh. Banana H is definitely going to fall here. Main is going to run on the right side. He's actually going to be able to get away from this. Urel needs to be a bit careful, but is able to drop the ult there. And now all of a sudden they are pushing back. Yeah, the retreat, they turned it around. Mane is moving back. The continuous poke is still coming. Our little Aussie is cheeky as ever. And goes in to drop grenades the entire time. Yeah, pretty much one of the reasons why Australians and people from New Zealand are just famous for all those many extreme sports is because, well, at least so I was told when I was there. that they're just bored out of their minds all day long. And I was like, okay, what kind of dumb shit can we come up with today? And apparently the latest is dropping grenades on people. So yeah, they're trying to go for the boss. That's another 20 seconds. It's going to be a 5 versus 5. Sanctification is ready. Guys, that boss is going to be taken. Even if there's a fight with Sanctification and Tyrande missing, this boss is going to be a freebie. It should be a freebie. It has to be a freebie. There's no way this is a throw pit attempt here. They're going to get this one. With Sanctification, how can you lose that? There's the immediate move into the Entomb. The kill against Urel, but the counter kill against Leoric. And that's boss time now. 1-for-1 trade, and it's time to grab the boss. Sanctification has already been used. They're getting the boss 20 minutes in. Tyrande is back, and granted, for Leo, it's going to be an advantage that he is back a little bit quicker. But here's the interrupt. They're making sure that there is no web weaver wave. They're trying to hunt that down. Can they go for a turn in themselves? I doubt it. But the kill against UL should actually mean that they won't be able to go for the core. What does it? I mean, if it only takes down the keep, that would already be a bit of a victory for them here. And they would get ahead, but it's not even guaranteed at this. So, right now, they're starting to jump in again onto the top lane. And they're going to get a lot here, but it's now 5 versus 4. And Entomb, the Buried Alive, is back. It is back, and it misses completely. Yeah, that's keep. That's keep, and then the only thing has to be get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of dodge, and that's exactly what they do. Everybody on full retreat, and what a final game in the series. Nice. I actually like it. I like it a lot here. Let's look at the damage output. What do we have right now? We're currently looking at Junkrat with 77,000. Mephisto on 73k. Jaina on 53,000. And Phoenix on 55. Good numbers all around here. Leo has died the most, but that's to be expected. Again, you want to sacrifice him in these fights. If someone has to die. It's not that you're trying to suicide him. But it's definitely the one that you want to fall the first, because, as mentioned before, he is going to reappear on point and has a low death timer to begin with. Chris with another bird alive. The ring, the connect, and the kill. No sanctification for you, baby. Counter kill against Nick. Yes, there it is. Kill for kill. Leo against Khaldor. And that's another one secured. But Chris is about to fall again, isn't he? Yeah, they get him in. That makes this a 3 versus 3. Mane is getting chased. The stun, the damage. And it's a little bit too much. What a game. What a game. Back and forth the entire time. Junkrat is nearly done with his level 4 quest. He's sitting at 193. In terms of gems, there's still a turn-in available for Washed Up, and they're likely to get this one now. And that could become a problem. I mean, the camp is being taken now, so that's a big one, but the blue web weavers, if they come in, they have to deal with the camp as well, obviously. So that's already a bit of a delay here in the middle. Yeah, the owl giving Macke and his Mephisto a little bit of a kiss, a lot of hatred, get some love here. And with that, we're now having 11 kills against 13. It's time to shine, baby! Once again, another fight, another day. Garrosh back, Malfurion about to pop back up. And the problem is really just that Tyrael gets shut down so hard, especially when he tries to use the Sanctification. These stuns that we're seeing from Washed Up, plus obviously the Buried Alive, are making it really difficult for Backhole to get the value that he really wants to. But just one fight. You need one fight. That's true for both of them. Just imagine a good Buried Alive against 2-3 heroes, another Riptide Ring of Frost combo. That would put the end of it immediately. And now Team Cheese, of course, with an opportunity. Yeah, well, they're already deffing the mid lane. That one should be an easy one. But they have now to prove that they are able to take down Washed Up. And Washed Up is not making it easy. Not at all. This is an epic first round. Seriously. This is a game that we could normally see in the semifinals or somewhere. But nope. We have that in the first round of the tournament. And it's time for action. Bot lane gets attacked. Top lane pushing into. There's the action with again the Sanctification coming through just as the damage is in. Riptire connects with him as well. Macke goes down. Chris to the rescue. And that's the end of the keep. And the top lane and the bot lane, both of them have fallen. Washed Up all of a sudden is starting to gain momentum. And they might go for the core here. They might try to pull it off. They're going for the middle first. They want to get every single keep in this game. and Team Cheese is on the ropes. A fantastic game by them so far, but they might lose it now after all. Their main damage dealer is toast. 35 seconds until Mephisto is back. Here's the attack. There's the defense. Stun after stun. The gems are there for a turn in. For Team Cheese. Shields are already crumbling, but they're still fighting for it. And there's the attempt to drop Phoenix now. Phoenix! Oh, warps away, gets out. And the Sanctification will be back up in 40 seconds, but it's the Tranquility that saves them in this fight. 10 seconds for Mephisto to come back. Can they kill Nick? Can they kill anybody? Nature's Cure being used. Again, Urel with the ult. Woo! Baby! Max Payne survives for now. Boss. Boss up in, oh my god, 2 seconds. That could be the decisive factor in this game. I think that's what it's going to come down to. Someone is going to YOLO it. It's a 5 versus 5. It's all about the ults right now. 12 seconds until Sanctification. They want to get the turn in, and they're going to get the turn in. The question is, what do you do with that turn in? Because you have catapults pushing against you on every single lane. And 25 minutes into these games, those catapults are going to drop the web weavers like it's nothing. Gonna drop them like it's hot. And that's exactly why they're trying to push these lanes out already. At least take the catapults apart. The desperate attempt of Team Cheese to come back into the game now. Yeah, and here we go. Max Payne, hoppity hop, takes the bot lane attempt in the middle of the map. Already dishing the damage out. Look at that damage of Junkrat, by the way. 250,000 siege damage. 122,000 hero damage by him at this point. He is killing it. And Tyrael is now again the one that we have to watch out for. Tyrael and Leoric. Buried alive against the Sanctification. What's it gonna be? Nick is already sitting there and misses the taunt. Doesn't connect the Warlord's challenge. They're coming through the middle with the Web Weavers. They're looking for the fight. There's the Buried Alive. That's not gonna do enough for them. That one didn't do anything for them. Yes, they catch Malfurion, but that's not enough. There was no damage. Chris comes into the back line again, tries to do some damage here, and obviously uses the Royal Focus now as well to their advantage, but things are starting to become a bit more dicey. That ult is down for another 30 seconds. What is Team Cheese gonna do? They have to be decisive right now. They just can't fuck around the entire time. They have 3 keeps that they already lost, and that means that they have a huge problem in the mid lane and the bot lane. So they either have to YOLO for the boss, or they have to do something else, and it's YOLO time. It is YOLO time, baby. It's the Hail Mary pass that we're seeing from them. Boss gets attacked. They know that they have the ults now. They can make the play here, and this is going to become spicy. It's the only play they have. Without a keep, they need to do this. They know it's a shitty decision, but there's nothing else that they can pull off, and they get the kill. It's their counter kill. Marcus survives, dies. What? He actually stays alive. Marcus stays alive. It's a 5 versus 4. A 5 versus 4, but for how much longer? That's the question. The heals are coming, but already Chris is going to be back in 30 seconds. What can you do in 30 seconds? Just watch him revive, go for the boss, try and force the fight again? Chris is going to be back in a second. Well, 18 seconds of that. But they need to do something in the time frame, and it seems like they're going to try and go for Mena. And Mena is eating damage like nothing. He's eating damage like other people gummy bears, but he's not getting dropped. And again, time is working against Team Cheese. We're 28 minutes in. Catapults are hitting like a truck right now. This is honestly the moment when I expect catapults to transform into little Gundams and just start to hail with their fists against the core, because these things are starting to hurt insanely. I mean, those are mini Dragon Knights that we're seeing there. They make another pass for the boss. They go for it again. They're trying to pull it off, and the owl is coming the entire time. It's all about the owl. Owl, 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 and, well, they're trying to force the fight again. Salvo time! And Mena is ice blocking the shit out of it, but they're trying to jump onto him, and there's the Ring of Frost set up again after the Buried Alive. Mena low, and gets saved by Nick. The taunt, and Nick is dead. Garrosh is down. Chris is also a little bit low. Everybody else is on the run as well. Banana Age! Oh my god, they did it, didn't they? Did they actually just win the game? Did they just win it? If so, they have to hurry. They have to either get additional kills or go for the core, because at the bot lane, there's 3 catapults already in. Mena is moving over, is trying to draw them away from the core, and that's exactly what he's doing. They need to go bot lane regardless, though, to deal with the catapults, because those could rush them. Make nearly falling, but it's Mena that dies, and now they have to do something with this. Get the boss, do something. It's 27 seconds that they have until Garrosh is back, and it looks like they have to go for the boss here. They go for the middle first. They're trying to get some counter pressure, but they really, really need to capitalize on the fact that they just dropped 4 heroes. They dropped 4. Leo is back, but now 17 kills against 5, and here they keep coming in. Obviously, the bot lane gets attacked. HeroesHype is doing the only thing that he can. He's trying to pressuring the core. He's trying to force an issue there. Chris is moving in, attempting to slow things down. He's getting caught by the root, but the boss gets attacked. Garrosh is back. He's on the move. HeroesHype's trying to drop the shields down. It's all coming down to this here. They're making the play for the boss. The owl comes in. Tyrande is back. Jaina any moment. Garrosh is on the move too. The boss is about to be taken though. They're starting to move in. There's no sanctification. The triple taunt. There's no way Chris wins this. There is no way, or is there? Junkrat comes in. The save on Garrosh 2 times, 3 times. Boss is taken. And Urel still defending as Garrosh and Leo both die. 19 kills against 2. And that just has to be it. Still Urel trying to defend. It's a single catapult that moves in, and the team is already screaming, screw the catapult, move your ass to the top, you stupid goat. And Marke gets annihilated. Oh my god, Mene with a burst, and he drops it within seconds. Everybody else is still trying to go for a keep, for core, for game. 30 minutes in, 31 minutes in, they're trying to drop it. Mene and Banana H both low, both dead, and that has to be game. That simply has to be game right now. They're going for their core, and they're melting it down. Team Cheese with a 2-1 victory against Washed Up. It's an insane start in the tournament. They take the victory in the best of 3 series on Tomb of the Spider Queen.